Hey ladies, so today we are going to be speaking about how to connect with a man, because this is a really important topic that so many of the ladies struggle with, because often you can get out there, you can be dating, you can be getting into relationships and struggle to really connect at a deep level with people. Like when you're talking to a guy, you're in a relationship and you just can't get below the surface. You can't really get him to drop his barriers, get him to open up to you, where you can really build that strong, deep connection that, we all want in our relationships. So, Fee, what do you think, some of the most important things on how to actually connect with a man at a deeper level?
I think there's a few things, ladies, that you need to be aware of, and, a few things that you can do to absolutely build the connection. So, very often I hear ladies say that, my man won't open up to me, he's very guarded, he's, always short answers, small answers, he doesn't go deep enough, and, very often they want a man to see their soul. Now, this can be an issue because a lot of the times the ladies are looking for validation and they're looking for their man to fill them up and make them feel secure and make them feel, that they are protected. Now, this can be a good thing, but it also, you need to be very aware that dating in our 50s, 40, 50, 60s is different to dating when you were younger. And, I really think, ladies, it's your responsibility to be relationship ready when you come into your relationships. It's a really hard one to be learning on the job. And, it's not something that you can do like attract a beautiful man, be in a relationship with him and be 100% learning as you go, because sometimes you're going to upset the other person, sometimes you're going to get triggered yourself and get upset, and if this happens too often, you're jeopardizing your relationship, so you do need to have done a fair bit of work to be prepared and to be ready to be in a relationship before you go jumping in. And it's why we always say, to do your work beforehand. It's okay to go out there and have a bit of a try, but be open to the fact that there is things that you might not be aware of, that you've never been taught, and that knowing these things makes a big difference. And it's certainly what we encourage ladies to do, is to be open to growing and healing and learning to look at themselves so they don't get upset and triggered when they're in a relationship. Because if you start cutting your man down or you start making him responsible for your happiness, he's going to become more and more guarded if every time he says something he upsets you. Because what I do know to be true is that most men want to make their women happy. They want to please them. They want to be in a harmonious relationship. They don't want there to be tension. They want to be trusted, and they want their, woman to know that they're a good guy. And so this is why you need to not bring your old relationship into your new relationship. The work that we need to be thinking about when we're, in a relationship and we're wanting more connection than what we've got.
Yeah. So one of the first things, ladies, is seeing the guy for who he really is, not who you want him to be, not, what you don't want him to be, which can be like what Fiona was saying before about, about your past and, looking at him with everything that's ever happened to you before and your fears and your frustrations and your angst from your previous relationship, but actually seeing the guy as that guy with his strengths, his weaknesses, and what you love and appreciate about him. Because when you actually look at anybody, but specifically in this case, in a relationship, the man for who he is, then that's the first step of actually starting to connect with that person. Whereas when you're trying to see them as something that they're not, you're never going to be able to create real connection with anybody.
It's hard. It's really hard when you fall in love with someone's potential, because they always feel like they've got to be different to who they are now. They feel like they're not good enough to just be themselves, that you always want them to be somebody else. And therefore it makes them feel insecure. And it makes them feel that they're not good enough and that you don't really love them for them. So it's really dangerous if you're not seeing someone's soul. and, you know, not loving them for who they are. So don't fall in love with someone's potential.
Yep. Because ladies, ask yourself the question, have you ever fallen into the trap, maybe in your past relationship or one previous to that, or sometimes in the rest of your life, where you get into a relationship of any description with the intent to help, with the intent to heal them, with the intent to make them better,
Fix
them, and you take on a project. A relationship is not, a person in a relationship is not supposed to be your project. They're supposed to be your equal. They're supposed to be your partner, someone who you can connect with at a deep level and let them connect at a deep level with you, so that you can be the person that the other person needs, and so that they can be the person that you need, but in a healthy way, in a way that actually builds each other up, in a way that adds to the relationship. So the relationship is sort of like a third party in between the two of you. You're you, he's him, but in between you, there's this thing, your relationship, and you strengthen it and you build it and you work on it. But you can only do that if you first see each other for who you really are, and then work towards understanding each other at a deeper level, understanding what makes them tick, what frustrates them, what annoys them, what they love, what they're interested in, what their passions are, what their hobbies are. But be open and willing to just listen and to just connect with the person, instead of looking for what you want to see or looking for what you don't want to see.